we're off. Today is Friday, and the bulk has begun. So my last video was a cutting video, but that is no longer. So when I say bulk, I mean, you're probably thinking, eat everything in sight. But that is not how it works this time. Currently sitting at 2,600 calories, and then on rest days, it's about 2,400. And still doing 30 minutes of cardio every day, just because, I mean, I just like it, except for leg day. Leg day, I do not hit cardio because, well, I hit my cardio after my lift, and I do not, like, my legs after leg day are shot. You know, there's no chance. Well, I mean, if I really had to, I could. But, like, it burns so bad, like, it's just not even worth it. Also, I mean, it has been colder than all hell recently. Like, my car doesn't start. Like, I need to get a new battery because it's so cold, my car battery just dies every day. So that is not epic. So yeah, maybe that's on the agenda today, get a new car battery. After the lift, of course, though, because that is priority number one. So just being open and honest, honestly, this bulk is going to be pretty insane, you know. I'm throwing in a new compound, so hopefully it does the job, you know. Last bulk was my first unnatty bulk, you know, like just made some, I mean, I'd say I gained like 15 pounds of lean mass. Like I was leaner at the end of the cut and weighed way more than, well, I weighed, what, 17 pounds more at the end of last cut than the beginning of last bulk, if that makes sense. So that is pretty epic. And that was on some calm shit. Like I was running fucking, what was I on? 300 test, 100 mass, something like that. Maybe it was 400 test, 100 mass. I was on like maximum 500 milligrams. And so this bulk / cycle, I'm bringing in EQ, so that's a new compound, because I need the estrogen control, because I do not want to be popping AIs, because AIs, like, they lower your estrogen, but they absolutely fuck your lipids. So like, the goal for this cycle is to actually be healthy, you know. So plan is 600 test, 300 EQ for as long as I can. So I'm just gonna take this bulk super slow, and hopefully the gains shall follow. Yeah, I'm eating like 280 grams of protein a day, which, yeah, you could say it's overkill, but I would rather overshoot the protein than undershoot it. So if my body needs it, it has it. If it needs energy source, protein will eventually turn into carb. It just takes longer. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I've been feeling great in the gym already, which is weird because EQ has a 10-week, like, it takes 10 weeks for it to fully saturate. So I'm only 1 week in now, and I'm already feeling insanely, like, not insanely strong, but like, I'm feeling like really strong, getting insane pumps. But that could also just be like the food, because dieting is actually, without a doubt, dieting is the most important factor in everything. Because if you don't diet properly, you're just not going to get where you want to be. You know, like, if you can't stick to a diet and you can't just eat like some fucking plain shit, then realistically you're just not going to be where you want to be. Because, like, yeah, you could hit a cut and be eating ice cream and bullshit, you know, as long as your calories are low enough. But when will you ever see a proper bodybuilder eating fucking ice cream on their fucking cut? Like, never. You just don't see it. Other than maybe like a carb up day or a cheat day, some shit like that, you know? So I basically have 3 cans of chicken every day mixed with a bag and a half of fat-free cheese, and then some very, very large tortillas, which are 300 calories each. I think they're like 66 grams of carbs, 63 grams of carbs, something like that. But I have all my meals for this bulk tracked out, so I have the times when I got to eat them or around that time. You know, it's not insanely strict, you know, just want to space out my meals properly so my body is always like fueled whenever it needs. Like, I don't want to be eating a whole bunch in the morning, not eating all day, and then eating when I go to sleep. Because, like, what if during the daytime was when my body was like, oh, let's regrow this muscle, you know? At least that's how my brain thinks. So always keeping my body fueled up. That is the goal. Also moving the water intake up to 2 gallons because, as I said, I don't want I want to stay healthy on EQ, because EQ can be a harmful drug. Well, steroid drug, whatever you want to call it. It can be harmful if you do it improperly, like if you're not aware, because it can thicken your blood, it can cause blood pressure issues and whatnot, and that causes extra stress on the kidneys, and kidneys are very weak. You do not want any stress on your kidneys. So I'm drinking extra water, checking my blood pressure, making sure it's not high, and if it does go high, most people would be like, oh dude, you're screwed. But there's also this other thing called telmisartan, which you can take, and that is like really healthy for just overall cardiovascular system, and that'll lower your blood pressure. So I have that on standby, but as of right now, my blood pressure is literally fucking perfect. Like, I'm rocking 116/67, and that was after I ate, so I'm assuming it'd be just a little bit lower previous to eating. So we can't get over here. As I said, it's super cold. Like, my face is so fucking dry. Like, it's just red all the time because it's so dry. And I threw moisturizer on this morning because, like, I can't even eat food because it gets so dry. But that's that. Oh yeah, also, so as I said, I didn't want to have to take an AI. So EQ will lower your total estrogen, and I also don't want high estrogen, since EQ takes 10 weeks to fully saturate in your blood. Normal testosterone, or testosterone and anthe, takes 5 weeks, which I take an anthe. So I'm trying to like match up properly so my estrogen doesn't crash or skyrocket. Because if I was to go to 600 tests right now, EQ wouldn't have enough saturation to like lower my total amount of estrogen. So my estrogen would go fucking sky high on 600 tests. I'd get gyno and be holding like a lot of water. Blood pressure would also increase, and I would just feel like shit. Like, my first cycle, I'm not gonna lie, I like, eventually I found out like it was high estrogen, but like I felt like, I felt like I was like fucking just ballooned up, and I felt like shit. I felt sluggish. I was honestly like, this can't be what it's like I'm not gonna be able to do this. And then I took an AI, which helped my estrogen out, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was tweaking, like it was just bad. So definitely have to like listen to your body and really be in tune with that, which right now I am. I do think estrogen is getting a little bit low, because I'll see myself like, I'll wake up in the morning, eat my food, and then I'll be like, take a shower or whatever, and then before the gym throw on some deodorant. But I walked in my room and I was like, what was I doing here? Why did I go in my room? And I just stood there for like 40 seconds, like, oh, why did I come in here? And I was like, oh, put deodorant on. It's like simple shit you just instantly forget, and you're like, whoa, what am I doing here? So that is a red flag right there. Yeah, other than that, I'm pretty dialed in. So I'm only on 200 tests, 300 EQ right now. I think I'm gonna move my test up to 250 this next injection, so my estrogen doesn't crash and I just go fucking dumb mode, you know? Like, basically, if your estrogen crashes, you're just a fucking zombie dumbass, you know? Like, like you just don't know what you're doing. Which I have had that happen before too, and it's not like terrible, it's just a little bit annoying. So, today is leg day, if I didn't already state that. The plan for that is gonna be hitting some leg press. If leg press is taken up, I think I'm gonna give hack squat a shot, man. And I'm a firm believer you have to be hitting a pressing movement for legs, otherwise you're just not gonna get some big legs, man. Like you need that just fucking like, I don't even know how to explain it, you know? Like, pressing movements where work your quad way more than just like a simple quad extension. Like, quad extension, you may catch a good pump and shit, but like, realistically, I'm not feeling that fatiguing factor from quad extensions when after I hit a set of leg press or squats, I'm like, oh, my legs are fried, you know? And, you know, them fucking science-based lifters, they'll be like, oh, I don't want that fatigue. Honestly, I think they're just lazy. Like, a lot of them are just lazy. Some of them, I think, like, are actually doing it for the science side, but I think a lot of them are just, like, they just want to go in there, hit one set, and just be able to get strong, like, think they're getting stronger and shit. And it's just, it's like, how do you hit one set of chest and then wait another day? Like, I just don't understand it. It's just fucking stupid. Like, what is this car doing, bro? Like, fuck out of here. Alright. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in the gym. Let's have a kick-ass leg day.
This is your doing. You said you'd rather feel pain yourself than inflict it on others. You choose to be neutral. But you know what happens when you play both sides? In the end, everybody loses. You saw what happened with your mother.
Yeah, that's right. Now would you shut the hell up? Why did you choose me?
Even if it meant forsaking your aunt.
Yes, and she'd be here now!
Even if it meant hurting her.
If it had to be done!
Even if it meant killing her.
Whatever it takes! Anyone who tries to take them from me will get no mercy.
And what if your decision ends up being the wrong one in the end?
That won't happen because I'm not wrong. What's wrong is this messed up world.
Whoa, a little added. Fucking snap my chain on hamstring curls. This should look get a better one. Anyhow, that is legs down. I'm gonna go camp out on some whatchamacallit, some adductors. Do about 6 sets of those, 5-6 sets. And that is leg day down. And I will see you guys in the flipping car. All right. That is leg day down. So, definitely getting stronger. Those leg presses were sketchy as fuck. Like, my second set of those, I was like, honestly, I might just die. Like, I might get crushed. Like, I wish I had a spotter so then I could go to absolute failure, because I bet I had one more rep in there. But, you know, that's all right, because does that one rep really matter that much? Or, like, will that one rep get me more gains than going one shy of that absolute failure? I'm not 100% convinced. So, and also, I mean, it's leg press. If you're hitting that shit solo, I would not recommend you go to absolute failure. I mean, unless you want to be fucking crushed, which I was not looking for. I did not want to get crushed today. Today is not my day to call it quits yet. So, those were some great sets. I learned from watching Nick Walker. See, if you don't know how to lift yet, just watch some YouTube videos and just try and do what they do. Like, I'm like, I'd say I'm a pretty fucking experienced lifter. Like, I know what I'm doing. I train, like, you know, I'd say I train pretty fucking optimally to be a bodybuilder. And, you know, leg press, I was like, you know, I wonder if there's something I'm doing wrong. You know, I just like watching fucking Nick Walker, Derek Lunsford, all them, Samson Dauda. I just like watching them, honestly. Like, it's just entertaining for me. And I do learn, because Nick Walker pointed his feet out a little bit and a little bit wider stance. And I was doing that, and then like getting that really as deep as I can go stretch. And man, that was like, I could feel like my quads felt like they were just like really just ready to fucking snap. Not like in a bad way, but like just like really rubber bandy, you know? And I do believe, you know, quads have to be trained in the lengthened position. And that's like almost maximum lengthened position. So yeah, I mean, that was a great leg day. Let's see. So I did 2 sets of leg press, 4 sets of quad extensions for quads, and then hamstrings, I hit 2 sets of hamstring curls, like seated hamstring curls, and then 4 sets of lying hamstring curls, and that got the job done. Obviously, I didn't record every single one, honestly, just because I don't like fucking, like, I could care, like, you don't want to see fucking 4 of basically the same exact movement, just like, you know, like, I just feel like you don't need to see 4 of the same exact movement. Like, if you're trying to fucking learn and like gain some knowledge, or like if you just are starting off lifting, I feel like just watching 1 to 2 sets of the same movement will give you enough of an idea of how to properly hit that movement and how intense you should be going. So those quad extensions, I mean, I was single legging, like, what was it? Let's see, 30, 40, 50, like 50 to 60 on each leg. And like, realistically, I mean, if you're full stacking that shit, like both legs, like, you're just, I mean, I don't even know, because, you know, unless you're as big as like fucking, unless you're like actually fucking massive and have some massive ass quads, I don't think you can really full stack that controlling the weight and only using your quads. Like, you have to be using momentum, or you're just really not getting the full quad like flex. Like, you're really not bringing it up to 90 degrees. But I mean, unless you're just a superhuman and you're somehow strong as fuck, but you're small, but I don't know. So I do notice the EQ. So one issue, well, not issue, but one thing that you have to be paying attention while taking EQ is that you will like become very strong, but your joints can't keep up if you are just pushing, like if you're just pushing the weight, like doing 6 rep to failure compared to like 10 to 12 reps to failure. So I noticed that because when I was hitting adductors at the end there, like, it did start to get a little sketchy. Like, it just, when I'd squeeze, it wouldn't hurt, but I could feel like I could feel my tendon was not too happy. Let's just say that. So I lowered the weight and just started really just squeezing. And yeah, it did the job. Hamstrings pumped. I'm looking really dry. Like when I looked at my like side pose, so like where I'd be hitting like a side chest, but like the leg pose, right? It looked really dry. So that might have something to do with my estrogen slowly going down. I have a feeling that's what it is. But yeah, that's fine. As I said, I am going to up the test to 250 instead of just 200. Obviously, don't fucking blast for insanely long. Like, unless you're, like, going into a show, but, like, if you're just hitting, like, a body recomposition, you know, just, like, go on some TRT levels, whatever your body can, like, be comfortable at. You don't have to take an AI. You don't have to take something to keep your estrogen down. Whatever you can do that, I mean, that's probably your healthiest choice. Because, I mean, I was on fucking 200 test my whole cut. And honestly, at the beginning of the cut, I think I was gaining. Like, I was still putting on some mass. But obviously, if you're properly cutting, you're not going to be putting on mass unless you're blasting heavy amounts of gear. Then there is obviously that leeway that could allow for you to put on some mass. Or if you're taking tren, which I don't really have tren in the books for me, you know, like there's no need to take tren unless you're going into a show. Honestly, just don't take tren. Just stick with the basics, you know, honestly, if you're not really trying to like live the bodybuilding lifestyle, you know, I wouldn't really recommend taking steroids. Obviously, that sounds like a no-brainer, but a lot of people, you know, they see like fucking Togi and like a bunch of meatheads just fucking, not even meatheads, but like, you know, just people that just say YOLO to life, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. That's fucking sick, you know, if you're, whatever makes you happy. But a lot of people, you don't understand, once you hop on test, you're more than likely going to have to be taking it for the rest of your life. And that is a commitment. But like, I hopped on last bulk and I just knew like this is what I wanted to do. Because at a young age, I always like loved, literally as soon as I found out about the gym and started lifting, actually the first guy I watched was Anthony Mantello and Jesse James. But like, I mean, Jesse James, I don't really watch him anymore because he's like kind of out of it. But like, he just helped me with like diet shit, like way at the beginning. Like this is when he was almost like a nobody. But Anthony Mantello, I watched like him bodybuild, and he inspired me for the longest of time. And then I got educated about steroids and like all that, and I was like, I kind of fell out of it because I was kind of demotivated because I was like, I want to be a good bodybuilder, but I gotta take steroids, and I didn't have all the information, so I didn't know how to do it safely, and that kind of like demotivated me a little bit from bodybuilding. But now that I'm like back on, like now that I know how to do this shit, man, I'm like, I just want to be fucking great, you know? I mean, I don't know if my genetics are really capable of becoming great, but I know for a fact I can get my pro card, and that is the goal right now. And you know what? If I can get my pro card in 212, I mean, shit, I'm gonna, say once I get my pro card in the 212 division, if I can continue to grow, and like, if I could fill out 212 fucking diced, I mean, dude, I would be on the Olympia stage. And that is the goal. Honestly, that's like the long term. That is what I really desire. Like, that would be so fucking sick. Imagine stepping on the Olympia, bro. Like, oh, that just brings a smile to my face. That would be so awesome. So, that's long term though. Short term, the next is, let's just stay on track. stick to the diet, get all my protein, and let's not get too fat, and let's put on a shit ton of muscle this bulk/cycle. So, as always, if you're watching this, much appreciated. And last but not least, get your fucking lifting, boys. Let's go. And girls, you know, maybe there's a woman watching this. So if there is, get your fucking lifting. You know, you got goals too. You got to achieve those. Only way you're going to achieve them is putting work in. I'll see you guys later.